Everybody wants to be great until it's time to suffer. Everybody wants to win, but nobody wants to bleed. Let me tell you something. You don't grow from ease. You grow from pain. You grow from being broken and still showing up the next day with your fists clenched, your mind locked in, and your heart set on fire. The comfort zone is a liar. It whispers, you're good where you are. It wants you to stay soft, to stay average, to stay weak. But if you want to change your life, if you want to become something unrecognizable, you've got to go into the suffering. You've got to go where most people tap out. You've got to crawl through hell, not to get to heaven, but to forge the kind of hellfire inside you that makes you unstoppable. You see, pain is the greatest teacher. Not that a pain you run from, the kind you run into. That's where transformation lives. That's where discipline, character, resilience, and real pride are built. You don't get that in comfort. You don't get that from a 9-to-5 routine with soft pillows and predictable days. You get that by doing what sucks, by suffering on purpose, by choosing the hard route every damn day. So the next time life punches you in the face, don't run. Smile. You were waiting for that punch. You were training for that punch. Now it's time to go deeper. Don't just survive the suffering. Dive into it. Own it. Bleed in it. Let it sharpen your soul. Because on the other side of that pain is a version of you no one can touch. A version of you no one can break. And that version isn't given. It's earned in the furnace of suffering. Suffering is where real growth begins. Growth doesn't start when everything is going right. It starts when everything is falling apart. You don't evolve when life feels good. You evolve when you're under pressure, when your body wants to quit and your mind is screaming for you to stop. That's the moment when transformation begins. You have to be broken down before you can be built into something stronger. Think about it. Muscles grow when they tear. Diamonds in fire. Diamonds form under pressure. You're no different. If you want to become someone you've never been, you've got to suffer through something you've never endured. Most people think suffering is something to avoid, something to fear. They treat it like a disease. But if you want to rise above mediocrity, you have to flip that mindset. Suffering isn't your enemy. It's your access point to growth. Every time you push your limits, every time you face what's hard, instead of running from it, you grow a little more. That pain you feel, that's weakness dying. That's doubt being silenced. That's fear being strangled. You just have to be willing to stay in it long enough to reap the reward. The world tells you to chase happiness. But let me ask you, what has chasing happiness ever built in you? What has comfort ever taught you except how to stay the same? When you go into the suffering, you gain something more valuable than happiness. You gain strength. You gain wisdom. You gain the ability to stand tall in chaos and say, I'm still here. Because suffering strips away everything fake. It removes the lies. It shows you who you really are. And it gives you the power to choose who you're going to become. Look back on your life. The most powerful shifts didn't happen when you were laughing. They happened when you were broken, when you were alone, when you had to dig deep just to make it through the day. That's where the roots of growth sink deep, through the storms, through the setbacks, through the pain. Most people want to be great, but they aren't willing to bleed for it. That's why they stay soft. That's why they stay the same. But if you're willing to go through it, really go through, you'll come out on the other side with a level of strength nobody can take from you. Suffering exposes your excuses. It reveals your limits and demands more from you. It tells you this is what's stopping you. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's the conversation you need to have. That's the mirror you need to face. When you sit in the suffering long enough, you stop blaming the world and start taking control. You realize that growth is never accidental. It's intentional. You have to go in the pain, sit with it, wrestle with it, and rise through it. You don't grow from watching motivational videos. You grow from putting in the painful reps. When nobody's watching, when no one's cheering, when the only voice you hear is the one inside your head daring you to quit. And let's be clear, suffering is not a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice you make daily to push into your discomfort, to face your demons, to confront your fears and break them down piece by piece. That's how growth happens. You don't wake up one day mentally tough. You earn that toughness by going to the fire again and again, not because you like the burn, but because you know what it builds. You embrace the suffering because you know it's the only path to the strength you're chasing. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort is the quiet killer. It doesn't strike with noise or pain. It seduces you gently. It tells you you've done enough. It tells you to sleep a little longer, skip the workout, avoid the confrontation, and stay the same. It wraps around you like a warm blanket and convinces you that growth can wait. But here's the brutal truth. Nothing great has ever come from comfort. Comfort creates average. Comfort creates excuses. Comfort creates weakness. And if you let it, comfort will rob you of your potential before you even realize it. Greatness requires discomfort. It demands sacrifice. You don't become elite by doing what's easy. You become elite by choosing to do what's hard every single day. By leaning into the grind when your body is begging for rest. By embracing the suck when everyone else is chasing pleasure. Comfort might feel good in the moment, but it leaves you with regret in the long run. That pain of staying the same, it lasts way longer than the temporary pain of pushing through. You have to decide what hurts more, the sting of effort or the sting of knowing you could have done more. When you choose comfort, you're not just choosing rest. You're choosing stagnation. You're choosing to stay in a bubble where nothing changes, nothing grows, and nothing improves. The world is moving whether you like it or not. While you're busy relaxing, someone else is outworking you. Someone else is getting stronger, smarter, harder to kill because they're doing the things you're avoiding. The moment you choose comfort, you've already lost the battle. Not because comfort itself is evil, but because it breeds softness. And soft people don't survive in a hard world. Let's be honest. Comfort is addictive. It's everywhere. Your phone, your couch, your excuses. It's disguised as self-care, balance, and normal life. But most of the time, it's just laziness in a prettier outfit. It's the drug that keeps you from facing the truth. That truth. You're capable of so much more, but you're too damn comfortable to go after it. You keep telling yourself, but every tomorrow, you wasting comfort is a day you'll never get back. That time isn't coming around again. And one day, you'll realize you played it safe for too long and it cost you everything. You've got to wage war against comfort. Hunt it down in your life. Find where it's hiding and rip it out by the roots. Wake up earlier than your mind wants. Train when your muscles scream no. Speak up when your voice shakes. Attack the uncomfortable moments like your life depends on it, because it does. Growth isn't a hobby, it's a fight. And comfort is the opponent you have to defeat daily. Not once, not twice, but over and over again until the habit of discomfort becomes your new normal. Don't let comfort lull you into mediocrity. The people who achieve something real in this life, the ones who inspire, who lead, who rise above, they didn't get there by chasing ease. They got there by putting themselves through hell every morning, every night. While everyone else was busy feeling good, they were busy getting better. Then kill the comfort, starve it, and choose the path that demands more from you, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. You must choose pain on purpose to build mental toughness. Pain is not something that just happens to you. It's something you must seek out if you want to grow. Most people spend their entire lives trying to dodge it, avoid it, numb it, or run from it. But here's the truth that separates the weak from the strong. The strongest people on the planet choose pain. Not because they're reckless, not because they're broken, but because they understand that pain is the tool that carves out greatness. You don't build mental toughness by living a life of ease. You build it by walking straight into the storm and daring it to break you. Mental toughness isn't some magic trait you're born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it has to be trained. You train it through repetition by doing hard things every day on purpose. Wake up before you want to. Run farther than you think you can. Sit with the discomfort instead of hiding from it. That's how you forge a mind that doesn't flinch. A mind that doesn't back down. A mind that can take hit after hit and still stay locked in. You want to be unshakable. Then stop looking for the easy way out. Take the hard road on purpose, because that's where real strength is built. Every time you choose pain on purpose, you chip away at your limitations. You tell your inner voice, we're not playing safe anymore. That inner bitch voice, the one that says, I'm tired, I can't, it's too much, starts to fade. Why? Because you've built proof. You've proven to yourself that you can suffer and keep going, that you can feel pain and still move, that you can break and still rebuild. You start to trust yourself on a different level. That's what mental toughness really is. The ability to believe in your own endurance when everything in you is begging to quit. Pain is a gift, but only if you treat it that way. When you wake up and deliberately do what's uncomfortable, you're not just building a stronger body, you're building a more savage mind. A mind that's immune to distractions. A mind that doesn't make excuses. A mind that gets the job done no matter what. And the only way to earn that mind is to suffer with intention. To do hard shat, not just when life forces it on you, but when you choose it. That's how you level up. That's how you rise above the average. That's how you become someone even your past self wouldn't recognize. But this ain't a one-time thing. It's not about one big painful event. It's about creating a lifestyle of intentional hardship. That's how mental toughness becomes who you are, not just something you do. When others are sleeping in, you're sweating. When others are hiding from discomfort, you're hunting it. When others make excuses, you're making moves. And that choice to seek pain every day adds up. It stacks. It becomes your edge. It becomes your weapon. It becomes the foundation of a mind that doesn't quit. You want to be a machine. Then start acting like one. Choose the path that tests you. Choose the pain that transforms you. Every day you pick the harder road. You're sharpening your mental armor. You're building calluses on your mind. You're teaching yourself that no matter what comes, you can take it. But you won't break. And that kind of strength, that kind of toughness, it isn't given by rep, mile by mile, pain by pain. Most people break at the first sign of struggle. You must go deeper. The average person crumbles the second things get hard. One punch to the gut, one unexpected setback, and they're already folding. That's the reality. Most people aren't mentally prepared for resistance because they've spent their whole lives avoiding it. They built zero tolerance for pain. The moment discomfort creeps in, their instincts scream, escape. But if you want to rise above average, if you want to separate yourself from the pack, you've got to condition yourself to go deeper when it hurts. That's the point where most people quit. And that's exactly where you begin. Struggle is a filter. It separates the talkers from the doers, the weak from the strong, the real from the fake. When pressure is applied, it exposes what you've built or haven't built on the inside. Most people don't break because they're incapable. They break because they've never trained themselves to keep going. They've never been deep enough in the fight to develop that second gear, the one that kicks in after the pain. That's where your edge is. That's where greatness is hiding. But to get there, you have to stop pulling out early. You have to stop tapping out when it stings. You have to lean into the struggle and go beyond the surface. You see, the first layer of pain isn't even the real test. That's just the entry feat. Happens after you've hit the wall, after your body says no, and your mind whispers, quit. That's when the real version of you is revealed. That's where you either step up or stay the same. Everyone has a limit. But the question is when you reach it, most people stop. But the elite, they dig. They suffer. They find a way to go deeper than they ever thought possible. That's what separates the uncommon from the common. That second win doesn't just happen. You earn it by refusing to give up when every part of you is begging to. Understand this, you're not done when you're tired. There's always more in the tank. Always another rep. Another step. Another layer. But most people never access it because they live too shallow. They live in the safe zone. And when things get hard, they say, this isn't for me. That's why they never change. That's why they never achieve what they say they want. Because the second struggle arrives, they pack it in. But you need to flip that switch. When it gets your signal to go deeper, not retreat. Going deeper is about making pain your fuel. When your legs are shaking, when your lungs are on fire, when your mind is spinning, keep going. That's where your transformation happens. That's the zone where you're starting into something dangerous, something powerful. The more you train yourself to go deeper, the wider the gap becomes between you and the rest. Because they'll always stop where the pain starts. But you're the one who finds purpose inside the pain. You thrive there. You sharpen your edge there. You become a different animal altogether. It's simple. Most people break because they're not built to endure. But you can build yourself different. You can harden your mindset. You can train your tolerance. And the way you do that is by refusing to stop at the first sign of pain. By making the decision to dig when everyone else is tapping out. You won't be remembered for how you acted when it was easy. You'll be remembered for how deep you were willing to go when it got hard. And the deeper you go, the more unstoppable you become. Pride are forged in difficulty, not ease. You don't become disciplined by doing what's easy. You don't build pride by sitting on the couch or hitting the snooze button. Discipline is forged in the fire of resistance. It's built in the days when you don't want to show up, but you show up anyway. It's built in the lonely mornings, the brutal workouts, the dark nights when no one's watching everything and you says, quit. That's where real discipline is born. It's not about motivation. It's not about feeling good. It's about doing what needs to be done, especially when it hurts like hell. Discipline means doing what others won't. It's the act of saying yes to what's hard and no to what's easy over and over again. Most people think discipline is about rigid structure or self-control, but that's surface level. True discipline is a decision you make in your soul to chase excellence no matter the cost. It's dragging yourself out of bed when your body screams no. It's sticking to the grind when nothing's going right. It's continuing to push when the voice in your head tells you that no one's going to care anyway. Discipline is showing yourself that you are not negotiable. And pride doesn't come from accomplishments alone. It comes from knowing what you went through to earn them. The kind of pride that can't be bought or fake comes from the hard days. The days you cried. The days you kept going when everything inside you was breaking. That's where pride becomes something real. When you've suffered for something, when you've grinded for it, it lives inside you. It becomes a part of your identity. You carry that pride in how you walk, how you talk, and how you face life's next challenge. The world is soft because most people run from difficulty. They want results without sacrifice. They want rewards without grind. But that's not how discipline works. That's not how pride is earned. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth anything. That's why you've got to choose the difficult path. That's why you must suffer. Because every time you endure something brutal and stay consistent, you stack discipline like bricks. And every brick you lay becomes a foundation for pride, not the fake kind, but the kind that can't be taken from you. 2. When you look in the mirror after a day of struggle and still see someone who showed up, who didn't fold, who stayed locked in, that's pride. That's the reward, not trophies, not applause, but the knowledge that you did what most people refuse to do. That's a feeling no one can give you and no one can take away. And it doesn't come from taking the easy route. It comes from discipline built in the trenches of discomfort. It comes from knowing that your success wasn't handed to you. It was earned in blood. Saying you can't become unbreakable without being broken first. You want to be unbreakable? Then you better be ready to get broken over and over again. That's the hard truth nobody wants to hear. Everyone wants to be tough, resilient, relentless. But they don't want the pain that builds that toughness. You don't become mentally bulletproof through comfort. You become unbreakable by being shattered, by having life hit you so hard that you taste blood, and then you keep standing. That's where real strength is born. Not in the victories, not in the easy days, but in the losses, the failures, the breakdowns. Being broken isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the start of the rebuild. It's where you meet the real you, the version that doesn't hide behind pride or fake strength. When you're stripped down, when everything you thought made you strong gets torn away, that's where the foundation gets laid. That's where character is chiseled out of pain. And if you're willing to stay in that broken state, if you're willing to keep working, keep moving, and keep fighting, when nothing makes sense, you start to rebuild yourself with purpose. Every scar becomes a reminder that you survived. Every crack becomes a place where resilience takes root. Because they don't trust themselves to come back. But that's the very reason they never grow. They avoid rock bottom. But what they don't understand is that rock bottom is solid ground. You can build from there. You can rise from there. But only if you're willing to feel the full weight of that pain and use it. There's a difference between being broken and being destroyed. One ends your story. The other rewrites it. The broken version of it isn't weaker. It's wiser. More dangerous. Because now you know what you're made of. You want to build armor. Go through the fire. You want a mind that doesn't flinch. Walk through the chaos. Nobody becomes unbreakable through theory. You can't read your way into toughness. You can't talk your way into grit. You have to get knocked down so many times that getting back up becomes second nature. That's how the unbreakable mindset is formed, by standing up again. Until nothing can shake your foundation anymore. And don't confuse being unbreakable with being untouchable. You will get hurt. You will feel pain. You will be pushed to your limits. But the difference is you won't stay down. Life will hit you like a truck and you'll spit blood, smile, and move forward anyway. That's the difference. That's what makes you dangerous. You're not unbreakable because nothing can hurt you. You're unbreakable because nothing can stop you. So if you're broken right now, good. That's your invitation. You're in the exact place where something powerful can be forged. Don't rush to escape it. Don't try to numb it. Sit in it. Own it. Let it sharpen you. Because the people who rise from their breaking points are the ones who become untouchable, not in body, but in mind. And when the mind is unbreakable, to the rest of the world doesn't stand a chance.